Hello YouTube, this is Silver. This is the Silver Mobile right here. That's the bad boy I call my regular car. It's a 12-seater. Got a V8 in there. I go from 0 to 60 in probably 60, but that's okay. I'm not in it for speed. It's comfort and style, and mostly it's a kid mover. So that's my thing. I'm out here at Oak Openings Metro Park. This is where I love to come run. I've showed this place really a lot of times, but I'm getting ready to start out. I'm back from Pennsylvania, and I had a little hiccup in my knee while I was there just walking around campuses. Now it was a little cold, so I thought maybe the thing got a little strained, and so I'm not sure what's going to happen today. I'm going to try for really anything over 15's a win. But if I can get 20 in, I gotta lock the van up. That'd be smart, Silver. Be ashamed to get back to the parking lot after 15 to 20, and then I gotta walk another 15 to 20 home. So I'm gonna try my best at at a solid run today. But I got this little hitch in my knee, and an important thing, if you're getting into an exercise plan, if you're starting out and you haven't done anything in a long time, which I'm in that category, it's important to pay attention to your body. And what I do is I really try to pay attention so I don't overdo something. I don't want to injure myself and set myself back. We'll start out with a walk so no one has to get sick. And you don't want to overdo it, and you really got to pay attention. But what I've found is sometimes I get a little hiccup like this little thing. It's not an important part of my knee, if there's such a thing. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but it's just on the very front of the kneecap, and I think it could be a patellar tendon was a little tight, or who knows. But it was real cold out there when we were walking around, and so what I'm doing today is I'm going to put it through some paces. I've got some hilly trails. They're soft, the ground I'm running on. This is some good stuff. It's going to be wet today, so it's soft ground. It's not like I'm hitting, sidewalks are the worst. Those are real hard. Then you have streets and pavement, blacktop, like bike trails. Then after that, you're going to have like crushed limestone gravel trails like you'd find sometimes in like river walks or parks. After that, you're going to have grass and then dirt, which is what I'm running on today. So I've got tree roots to look out for, but I'm going to pay attention to the knee. And what I've found in the past is sometimes I can run through something that's a nag. And if you just stay focused on what you're doing, pay attention, because you don't want to injure yourself. But sometimes after, 4 or 5 miles, that whatever it is that was tight loosens up, and then it doesn't occur again. So we're going to see what happens. That's a 3-minute. Here's what I'm doing. This is for my Saturday video, and hopefully we've got success. I will have you guys with me this whole time. It's a beautiful park, beautiful place. I promise you, when I was in Pennsylvania, we found a park, I think it was called Settler's Cabin, and we drove around in there, and I'd love to go run in there. Pennsylvania's loaded with parks. Every state in this beautiful country is loaded with parks. I know if you're overseas, you guys got parks. Get outside, stretch your legs a bit, and enjoy the weekend. Hey YouTube, it's Silver. I'm about 2 hours into my run, and I'm hitting one of my favorite parts of the park. Aside from being real pretty, there is a Boy Scout camp here. It's a little remote, but I've got 2 choices at this point to fill up with water, and one of them is kind of an outpost, and I always feel like the water is poison, like an animal died in there, or it's got chemicals. It just tastes terrible. The other option is this Boy Scout camp that has a pump, and you get the real water, and that might be poison too for all I know. But man, it's cold and it's so good. If you ever have a chance, go out for a walk or a hike, and they got a hand pump, I recommend you check that out. That has some great water. So the good news is 2 hours in, my knee feels great. I had just one little tweak on it. I was running through some water and I hit a branch. It was probably 8-10 inches deep, and there was a little branch on the bottom. My foot twisted just a little and I felt a little twinge, but I kept running, and about a minute later I felt great. So, you know, just like sports in the good old days, no blood, no foul, right? So I thought for today, I want to tell you a little bit about my father-in-law and my wife. And when I met her, I really wasn't the best guy. I happened to be dating at the time a different girl, and my wife asked me out, which was lovely because she's way better than I'd ever have a right to even know, let alone marry. But she asked me out, and I agreed. The other person I was dating, it was really nothing serious. And I said, okay, and we went on a date. And the very first date we went on, I took her to, this is a funny story. It was the night of the OJ chase with the white Bronco. And I took her to the Toledo Museum of Art, which is world class. I mean, it's incredible. Toledo was the home of all the money back in the day, was when glass was the thing. There's that pump. It's beautiful. And I'll just show you the scout camp, how pretty it is while I take a few minute break. So we went to the Age of Rubens exhibit. A lot of you guys might remember it. I think it was 94 when that came through the United States. And we were walking into the museum. Keep in mind, this is like our first date. We're walking into the museum, and I walked up ahead of her, and I opened the door, and I proceeded to go in, and I opened it real wide, so it was wide enough for her to follow in behind me. And I mean, this date is like 20 minutes old, right? Hey, there's deer. See the deer down there? There's lots of deer at this park. I run into them all the time. So, not 20 minutes into the date, and this is why I married her, she said, you know, my parents have been married, I forget how long at that point, but we threw them a 50th wedding anniversary party a long time ago. She said, my parents have been married that long, and my dad has always walked with my mom, and he has always opened doors for her. And it struck a real serious chord with me, because I always felt I was a chivalrous guy. I always thought I was a good guy. But then in that moment where I had walked up ahead of her, you know, I did walk up to open the door, but instead of holding it for her, I just blasted through the door thinking, okay, follow me, you know, like, I don't know. I was paying the fees, but as soon as she said that, I thought, this is a good girl. She was raised right, and she knew 20 minutes into that date what was not going to work. And we weren't going on a date to get married. We were just going on a date. But to this day, I'm so proud of her, and I'm not perfect. I don't always open car doors for her. I really try, but my 2 cents to anyone out there, if you're a guy listening to this, is don't be afraid to be chivalrous, okay? Don't be afraid to open doors and do those things. You know, walking upstairs behind a girl, walking downstairs in front of her. You know, the old code said if a lady falls, you need to be in a position to catch her, okay? Isn't that, it's funny to hear that today, but that's a reality. And so my 2 cents is don't be afraid of that. And then my shout out to the lady comic community is don't be afraid to correct your guy, okay? We need help. I think all guys have a deficiency in brain power, and every now and then we need that reminder. We need to be made better. That's why God puts us in position that hopefully we can help each other in different ways. So anyway, I'm on my run. It's going great. And for some reason I was thinking about my father-in-law. He died a couple years ago, but man, I wish I could hear more of his stories. He always had things to share with me. So I'm going to talk about him in a different video on a different weekend, but for today I'm going to fill up my water jug here, right there, and I'm going to get back to my run. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, I'm a little further along. Hit some more water, and just want to let you know, silver hasn't gotten soft.